Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. Can someone tell what did we see yesterday? Just give a recap.
Yesterday, we discussed about that vairagya, which means the detachment from the material, the cessation of material exertion, and mind is filled with the Supreme Lord. So that we saw. And we discussed, yeah.
Anybody else? Yes. Wants to add some points? Any more points you remember, Jayalakshmi? Yeah, others, you're all awake.
We also discussed about the devotional services more elaborately, that Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, especially hearing, the chanting we discussed more elaborately, and how the mind is being very obstinate and it can be
We discussed about mind control, Mataji, how we can control the mind, and chanting, the importance of chanting, and how chanting can be the only way to control the mind, and how we can kind of disengage the mind by chanting uh, Hare Krishna Mahamantra as well.
Very good. Very good. So basically, three things Prabhupada is telling: chanting, hearing. One second. What did we see yesterday? 36. (36), 37, Arjuna is refusing that it's not possible, means he's telling that whatever process, I reject this because I feel it is impractical for me. And then in 38, he is telling that my mind is no, not 38. 35, right? Yes. So in 35, Krishna is answering. In 34, Arjuna is telling Sanchalam hi mana Krishna. Very, the wind can also be controlled, but mind cannot be controlled. Then Krishna is telling Abhyasayana tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Abhyasa and vairagya, trial, practice and detachment are the way. So what is practice, what is detachment is explained by Krishna. That Prabhupada is telling eating the footsteps offered to Krishna and also hearing about Krishna. When we hear the transcendental activities of Krishna and eating the footsteps, then it will be controlled. Mind will be controlled. So three things we need to do. In the previous chapter, it is means if when we hear and when we eat prasadam, vairagya comes. Vairagya. And abhyasa by chanting. So that is also mentioned in the previous part. Okay, now we go to the 36. Okay, we have completed the sloka things. Now I think we can go directly to translation. Okay. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who survives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. So, now Krishna is talking about practice and detachment, after which he is telling that the mind should not be shaky. It should be fixed. And self-realization is not difficult to work, but he whose mind is controlled, who strives by appropriate means, is assured of success. So the correct methodology one should approach. The practice should be appropriate method. Then success is guaranteed. So what is that is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. What is the appropriate method? What is the successful method? Okay, somebody read the purport. Sorry.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead declares that one who does not accept the proper treatment to detach the mind from material engagement can hardly achieve success in self-realization. Trying to practice yoga while engaging the mind in material enjoyment is like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. Yoga practice without mental control is a waste of time. Such a show of yoga may be materially lucrative, but it is useless as far as spiritual realization is concerned. Therefore, one must control the mind by engaging it constantly in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Unless one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he cannot steadily control the mind. A Krishna conscious person easily achieves the result of yoga practice without separate endeavor. But a yoga practitioner cannot achieve success without becoming Krishna conscious.
Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much. Very, very simple and sweet. Especially Prabhupada's conclusions are very, very clear. Unless one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he cannot steadily control the mind. See, you see that the yogis sit there and they say that you control the mind, you control the mind. So very, very difficult to control the mind. So Arjuna is very powerful person and he is telling that the wind can be controlled, mind cannot be controlled. Then what to speak of ordinary beings of Kali Yuga? So a Krishna conscious person easily achieves whatever the yoga practice, the topmost realization is attained even by the beginner of Bhakti Yoga, Krishna consciousness especially. When somebody engages in the Krishna consciousness, then in the elementary level itself is achieving the perfection of a yogi. So already the Bhakti Yoga process embeds other yoga processes. So other yoga process need not be separately endured. So this is what is the thing. Okay. So therefore, one must control the mind by engaging it constantly in the loving service of the Lord. So what is mind control? One single sentence Prabhupada nailed it. One must control the mind by engaging it constantly in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. For example, let us assume that you are called for a meeting on a Sunday in the temple and they are telling that now Guru Maharaj is coming or Rath Yatra festival is coming. So Prabhuji, you have this service. Mataji, you have this service. So kindly start now itself. So immediately you'll go and you'll start doing so many arrangements and you'll call people and you'll do this, you'll do that, you go to the temple, come back. There's so many activities you will do that you don't have time for any nonsense. Your mind is constantly engaged in how to pleasingly do that service, right? So this is the secret of Lord Chaitanya's Krishna conscious movement, that the mind control is automatically brought into practice simply by engaging in the loving service of the Lord. Generally, we run for the office, we run for office work and all. That is, money is the motivation. But as far as temple is concerned, when a temple or any service which you are doing in Krishna consciousness is concerned, or you are running a Bhakti Vriksha in your home, so you'll be so busy arranging things, making people for sitting and some prasadam, the program arrangement, printouts. In this way, so many things you will be doing that your mind will be constantly occupied. There's no time for nonsense. But a yogi, he doesn't have any activity. So it is very difficult for him. So trying to practice yoga while engaging the sometimes what happens, especially externally they practice yoga, but internally their mind is towards the material enjoyment. So a yogi is not supposed to enjoy materially, but in material world, big yoga programs, classes are held, and VIPs, big businessmen, they go and attend it. And their idea is to do sense enjoyment, material enjoyment. Yoga process is also used in order to keep the body fit to have a better sex life. Like this, so many people, or there some actresses, or they are in the fashion industry, so they want to keep the body fit so that they can earn more money. Or somebody want to buy drink alcohol and things like that. They work hard, they want to drink, but they'll be drinking in the night. In the morning they'll do yoga. So even sometimes in Himalayas, these yogis who leave the family and go, they take ganja. So there is no question of material enjoyment or any irregulated lifestyle doesn't go with the word yoga only. It's inversely proportional to yoga. So yoga process without mental control is a waste of time. So there are two methods. One is forcefully controlling the mind without giving any activity to the body or the mind. If you control, it is not possible. But in Krishna consciousness, because we are consistently engaged in the service of the Lord, automatically the mind is in the control. Okay. We'll go to the next. Arjuna is telling now, okay, Krishna explained like this. That two things he explained. Yes, without a doubt, the mind is uncontrollable, but by practice and detachment, it can be controlled. And the mind has to be controlled. One uncontrolled mind, one cannot be yogi. But if he controls it, then he is to be successful. So devotees are naturally successful because they are very, very busy in various activities, various services for Krishna. So their mind is already coming under control. So that is possible only continuously engaging it in the service of the Lord. Now Arjuna has further questions. Very nice question here. If somebody takes up Krishna consciousness, I understand Krishna, you're telling to do this. But if somebody leaves the material and he takes up to Krishna consciousness and becomes busy, or any yoga process, in that case spiritual realization, then what will be his destination? Because materially his karma is washed away and nobody wants him. Because already he was proven irresponsible. Now nobody wants him. Then what will happen to him? He lose materially also, will he lose spiritually also? That is the question asked by Arjuna. Very nice question. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what is the destination of an unsuccessful transcendentalist? A person, a yogi who is trying, practicing. And what will happen if he is unsuccessful? Like he may die in between while practicing the yoga, or he may fall down, or he may stop the process due to some illusion. In this way, he practiced for some time, and then what will happen if he leaves it or if he dies? He didn't complete, he didn't achieve perfection, but before that he dies, what will happen?" So that is the question. So what is the destination of an unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but with later desist due to the worldly mindedness, or thus do not attain perfection? Somehow he didn't attain perfection in this lifetime, but he has practiced some bhakti yoga processes, he has taken prasadam a little bit here and there, and like this, then it will work. So can somebody, okay, Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what is the destination of an unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith? Okay, but who later desists due to the worldly mindedness and thus did not attain perfection or mysticism." Can somebody read the purport?
The path of self-realization or mysticism is described in the Bhagavad Gita. The basic principle of self-realization is knowledge that the living entity is not this material body, but that he is different from it, and that his happiness is in eternal life, bliss and knowledge. These are transcendental beyond both body and mind. Self-realization is sought by the path of knowledge, by the practice of the Eightfold System, or by Bhakti Yoga. In each of these processes, one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity. his relationship with God, and the activities whereby he can re-establish the lost link and achieve the highest perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. Following any of the above mentioned three methods, one is sure to reach the supreme goal sooner or later. This was asserted by the Lord in the second chapter. Even a little endeavor on the transcendental path offers a great hope for deliverance. Out of these three methods, the path of Bhakti Yoga is especially suitable for this age because it is the most direct method of God realization. To be doubly assured, Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna to confirm his former statement. One may sincerely accept the path of self realization, but the process of cultivation of knowledge and the practice of the Eightfold Yoga system are generally very difficult for this age. Therefore, despite constant endeavor, one may fail for many reasons. First of all, one may not be sufficiently serious about following the process. To pursue the transcendental path is more or less to declare war on the illusory energy. Consequently, when a person tries to escape the clutches of the illusory energy, she tries to defeat the practitioner by various allurements. A conditioned soul is already allured by the modes of material energy, and there is every chance of being allured again, even while performing transcendental disciplines. This is called Yoga Chalita Manasha, deviation from the transcendental path. Arjuna is inquisitive to know the results of the deviation from the path of self realization. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So there are three different kinds of people. So Arjuna is asking what will happen to a person. He has taken up some yoga process, okay? Any transcendental process. We already discussed what is material, what is spiritual, okay? In spiritual practices, there are yogi also, yoga, Ashtanga Siddhi yogi. He may be Jnana yogi, so he may be Bhakti yogi, no matter. But yoga means connection with the Supreme Lord. So this guy has already started connecting with the Supreme Lord, but he was not able to achieve perfection before that. He is leaving it. Either leaving it due to illusion or is not interested or whatever. He was not able to continue whatever spiritual process he has taken. Because of which already he lost the connection with the material and no karma is going to be there for him because he involved in the transcendental process and now in transcendentally he didn't achieve the success in this present life. Now he's dying. Now what is his destination? Where will he go? What will happen to him? This is the question. So here in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining about all the three processes. The Bhakti Yoga is the topmost, like the path of self-realization of mysticism. Mysticism is Dhyana Yoga. So this is described in the Bhagavad Gita. The basic principles of self-realization is knowledge that the living entity is not the material. The living entity is not the body. This is the basic of all the yoga processes. Even if you take Mayavadi, or even if you take impersonalist, every spiritual process, the word spiritual comes when there is a differentiation between matter and spirit. Sometimes we'll say he's a spiritual guru. Okay, what does he teach you? No, he teaches how to keep the body healthy. First of all, I'm not the body. So when the spirit soul is not involved, how the institution can be called spiritual? You know some institution like that, right? They call themselves like we are a spiritual organization. We teach meditation, yoga. So what is the use? No, it will keep your body healthy. So how can this be spiritual? When spirit soul is not involved, when only body is involved. So the authentic processes, all these transcendental processes, they accept the living entity. Even Karmi, when he does some yajna, he will want to go to Swargaloka after he dies, which actually means he is very clear, I am not the body, I am soul, and I am earning for after death. After death, I will go here somewhere. In 7 lifetimes, the husband and wife want to be born as husband and wife only, very pativrata. Like this, but anyway, they are entangling themselves. It's not a liberation process, but they at least know that this body is not me. I can take 7 different bodies. At least that much they know. The basic thing. Okay, the living entity is not the material body and he is different from the body. Okay, and that his happiness is in eternal life, bliss and knowledge. If he ever wants happiness, that can be got there only. Okay. So these are transcendental beyond body and mind. Some people consider mind to be the self. And they say that no, we are not talking about the body. The body is made up of Panchabhuta. So let us concentrate on the mind, which is the part of the spirit soul. That there itself, that person failed. Mental equilibrium, when somebody is talking about, mind also belongs to subtle body. So if he is talking about mental equilibrium, he is not talking about spirit soul. Overall thing is they are not into any spiritual path, but the organization is called spiritual, the teaching is called spiritual, but when we look into it originally, there is nothing spiritual, everything is material. So, but if genuinely somebody is going, the self-realization sought, see, if you want self-realization, there are 3 paths given here. Okay, 3 paths given. Self-realization is sought by path of knowledge, Jnana Yoga, by the practice of 8-fold yoga system, Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga, Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga. So he will get Ashtama Siddhi on the process. He will get 8 Siddhis before he achieves perfection. That is why it's called Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga. Now the third is the Bhakti Yoga. Here it is given. 3 processes are given as a path of self-realization. But in each of these processes, one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity and his relationship with God. And the activities whereby he is established the last link and achieve the highest. But simple. What? Okay, fine. I'm not the body, I'm soul. Okay, fine. Then as a soul, what do you do? So in every process, there must be a realization, what is my constitutional position as a living entity? Oh, I'm spirit soul, huh? Okay, what will the spirit soul do? Don't think it like a ghost. It will come and haunt you and it will come and make you fear. No. The spirit soul is so pure, Satsid Ananda. Only the subtle body and gross body are always dangerous, always prone to trouble. So some subtle bodies may be dancing there. We don't care about it. Where there is devotion, genuine devotion, then unnecessary elements doesn't approach. So constitutional position of the living entity, his relationship with God, and the activities whereby. So he has to know what is the relationship of the Jiva. Jivera Swaruphoy Krishnera Nityadas. And what is my activity as a spirit soul? I have to serve the Lord. That is the activity of the soul. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all these are activity of the soul, not the body. Even though the body is used, but actually the original benefactor is the spirit soul. The activities whereby he can re-establish the lost link and achieve the highest perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. And here Bhakti Yoga is recommended because Svalpam Abhyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Even if you do a small endeavor towards loving Krishna, then it is very, very big benefit. There is no question of falling back again. Once you have taken the shelter of the Lord, whether you continue, follow it or not follow it, then there is a safety. There is always a safety. So out of these 3 methods, Bhakti Yoga is suitable for this age because it's the most direct method. Pratyaksha Vagamyam Dharmam Susukam Kartum Abhyayam. Like that. So very happy to perform, very natural, very comfortable. That is Bhakti Yoga. So Arjuna is asking the Lord Krishna to confirm this formal statement. So we saw that the Bhakti Yoga is the best. So somebody may fail in between, right? So Arjuna is very doubtful if somebody fails, what will happen. So this is called Yogas Chalita Manasa, means he may be taking a transcendental path. I told you about the Purvajna story in which every process has fear, Every process has a possibility of fall down. Every process has a possibility of quitting. But Bhakti Yoga, one doesn't fall. That is the difference between other yoga processes and Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is a one-way traffic. You just move one way. Progress and progress and progress. Next life, next to next life. Other yogis may also, but still if they are involved in the worldly affairs, then it is difficult to achieve perfection. So deviation, I told you that every path has danger. The jnanis, they are haunted like ghosts. They talk so much about philosophy and discuss and defeat each other like this. The life goes, time goes, and time of waste, no chanting of the holy name like this goes to the jnani. And to the Ashtanga Siddhi Yogi, leaving everything, going to the forest, sitting in the tree, practicing various bodily activities, exercises. After that, going for walking or jogging like this. In the forest of Himalayas, all this yogis and jnanis, they will do this, and they may fall down because that is like we saw karma yoga also, fruitive activities also. There are scorpions and wasps, and then there is ghost, and there is a big snake guarding it, and the snake is like, then Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga, when you do, then there is a possibility if you get Siddhi, then you come out and become a magician in front of people, and people will call you God, and they'll give you a lot of money. Then you will take the donation and you will build big hospital, big something. So that is actually cheating. This is a complete thing. Okay. I have some emergency service for Guru Maharaj. I'm doing it. So can we complete here? I am doing for the past 18, 19 hours continuously. We'll end here, ma. Okay. 38 we'll see tomorrow. Any questions? Keep it parked and tomorrow we'll see. Is that all right?
Okay, Mataji.
Okay, thank you very much. Let us offer our loving, respectful, humble obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, including all of you, and also our dear Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda and Acharya Parampara. Vanchakaltarubhyascha
कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki
जय
Srila Prabhupada ki
जय।
Okay. Thank you.